Okay, this has been coming for a while. I moved back here to England from the States about 2.5 years ago to be near my son. It's the only reason I came back, but it's a very good reason to come back. But since I've been back, there's been some stuff that's been bugging me and I need to get it out of my system. First thing is I can't believe the prices of property. I was away for about 8 years. Price of property went up so much, like almost 4 times in some cases, and it is a joke. Places just aren't worth that much money. It's impossible for people to get their first time homes unless they want to live in a box. People that did make money on the property have just bought more property to rent out, and that's great for them. Hey, I don't take it away from capitalists, good luck to them. But it has left a massive hole for people who don't necessarily earn enough money to buy their own place, and they are stuck in this trap. Secondly, I cannot believe how many immigrants they've let in. Now don't get me wrong, I have nothing against the immigrants that have come over here and are working hard. They're doing all the jobs, maybe some of the lower paid jobs, maybe not all lower paid, but they're working, they've got a good work ethic. They work harder than the English people. I work in construction, and half of the blokes that turn up every day don't even want to do a job and think they're owed something, like they should be just paid for turning up, which is absolutely crap, and it keeps our industries totally uncompetitive, and it's just a total joke. The people I do have an issue with are the immigrants that have come over here and we're paying for them. Not only are we paying for them, they just get in the way everywhere you are. They're robbing, stealing, nasty pieces of work, some of them. Even in small seaside towns, they're starting to take over, or bigger seaside towns. They're like a plague. They're stabbing people, they're raping, they're killing, they're just intimidating. And if they don't earn their way, they should be sent back to their own fucking country. So I'm going to swear on this, excuse me, please don't flag it, but it's just, sometimes you had enough. At the same time, the people that are unemployed in this country, half of them could work, they're just lazy. Half of them are just lazy, they could work, my battery keeps turning off because I'm not recording with the tape, and they choose not to work. They pull some disability bullshit where they manage to get, once they run out of their unemployment, they manage to get some sickness benefit, or they get really fat and then decide that they can't fucking work, or they have loads of kids and with different fathers, which, hey listen, I know some people have, righteous positions in that situation, but the majority do not. And someone like me who's come back, I can't get credit here because I haven't come back long enough. I earn very good money, but it's because I've put my arse on the line and worked hard in a new industry to me that wasn't something I did before. I started digging holes, and now I've worked my way up because of maybe past experience in management to a management position, and it just pisses me off that I'm probably paying as much in tax every week, like £500. To the Americans, that's like $900 a week I'm paying in tax. I don't get a parking space where I live. They tell me when and where I can walk my dog, and I pick his poo up wherever it is, whether it's on the beach or anywhere else. Hey Angus. I can't get credit even from a bank that takes, say £70,000-80,000 a year through my account. They are wasters. And there's a house, or there's a whole road up the street from here, and I'm going to get it on video, and it's like all these sheltered housing things. Now don't get me wrong, if it's protecting a woman from violent abuse from a boyfriend, partner, husband, whatever, I totally understand, or putting a roof over kids' heads, I get it. But these are all ex-junkies. I decided not to be a junkie. They decided to be one. Now I don't have to pay for that, and I shouldn't have to pay for it, and it's not a medical condition, it's a fucking decision. It's a life choice that they made, and I am pissed off with the way that they baby these people. They even get dogs just so they can get an extra £25 a week or whatever it is to pay for the dogs, which I don't take that away, or don't take it the wrong way. I agree that the dogs need to be looked after, but they just stick it into their arms or smoke it or whatever. And don't get me wrong, I have been a DJ for 15 years. I have partied, but everything in moderation, right? And it's a life choice. You either let it take over or you get on with it, you know, and you do it for what it is. It's entertainment maybe, but it's also bad for you, and it's addictive and everything else. You know, it's not my fucking problem that they can't hold their shit together. Whatever their background is, everybody has their own issues to deal with in life, and they just haven't dealt with theirs. Now they need to get the fuck on with it, because this country's going down the toilet, totally down the toilet. It costs, talking of going down the toilet, we just got our water bill. They're charging us like £400 a year just for flushing our shit away. Like $700 to the Americans. That is just pathetic, when the service we get for our garbage, which is like, or rubbish, once every 2 weeks they'll take our rubbish away, and we don't even have bins provided or anything. We live in flats. The bottom of our flats is a little cupboard. None of us want to put our rubbish in there for 2 weeks. Yes, we recycle the other week, and we do it religiously here. And then they're saying that they can only actually recycle 30% of what we're giving them to recycle. Well, it's all recyclable, it's just whether you've got the capabilities. So, like, get your shit together. It's one thing I do absolutely appreciate about America. They do recycle stuff. You know, if it's waste, there's some use for it somehow. Our landfill sites are all getting full, they're saying. Our gas has gone through the roof, our electric's gone through the roof. We pay £5.50 for a packet of cigarettes. Yeah, and that is a pathetic joke, because other countries, especially even around Europe, now it's opened up so much, are showing how much our government are taxing us for this shit, and our alcohol, and our petrol. Everything could be a third of the price it is, but we're getting taxed. And our wages haven't gone up that much. I could go back 10 years to some of the jobs around here, and they might have gone up maybe 15%. And although they say that inflation is only, or like a record low, and interest rates are a record low, they need to be. People cannot afford to live here. You know, you've got couples, both of them working, that struggle to get by every month. Our medical, oh my God, our national health is a joke. Like, the area we live in is full of old people. They've all bought their homes, it's pushed the prices up. Fair enough, I'm not taking it away from them. They can retire to the seaside, lovely for them, great. But what we don't do is build new homes for those younger people that are coming through. And what we also don't do is allow on people like my taxes what I actually get for my tax. We have like a poll tax here as well, I don't know if you guys know about that, where they basically charge us, it's £960 a year just for living here, like a tax on your property. Well, I don't even own it, it's a rented place, and we still have to pay these crazy prices for everything here, and I am sick to fucking death of it. You know, it's a joke. And it's, you know, I know the Americans have this quaint little thing about England being this little kind of island and everything. Well, let me tell you about England. It sucks. I hate England. There's a lot of ignorant people here. You know, I've got good friends, don't get me wrong, and everybody has their little niches in this country, but generally it is going down the shitter. It's an embarrassment to be British. And we hold this royalty thing, and we hold all this history and everything else. It's a crock of shit. You know, they've spent all this money on this little town here, Cromer, and all they've done is fuck up the road system, given money to people that already owned properties to doll them up a little bit cuter, and they just don't look after the working man. It's a joke. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And the middle class, it's a lot like America, just get fucked up the arse, and it's absolutely out of order. And yeah, I will move back. Anybody wants to post a little message saying, we'll go back to America then. I will go back to America. When my son's like 18 and he can make his own decisions where he wants to be, I will go back to America. Or I'll go to a different country. I certainly won't go to anywhere in Europe because it will be inundated with bloody English idiots. It's totally, I've been holding off on this. Oh, and while we're about sort of talking about these things, YouTube. Love YouTube. It's the most wicked site for someone like me who's done a lot of production and stuff, not for money, just to do it for myself. I love YouTube. And I can post all these things up, and it takes a while for people to get to find it, but you know, I used to have my own website, had 1.5 million hits a month. These guys will find me eventually, and it's saving me a fortune having to rebuild my site at the moment. However, it seems to be that there's just 50% people that don't actually put anything on. That's fine, you can watch it all you like, and it's about you watching stuff. But the comments, some of the comments and hate mail and hate comments that people get and just leave up, I mean, what is that about? What is wrong with you people? It's kids, it's young kids that think it's funny to just disrespect, you know? The internet's about youth. The internet's allowing you to go wherever you want to go and see whatever you want to see. Have some respect for it, and the people that actually put things up there for you to see, whether it's opinions or whether it's daft characters or whether it's just a comment about something, it's freedom of speech. It's freedom of expression. Now you are used to it. Go back 50 years and women couldn't vote, and you know, freedom of speech. Blacks in America couldn't even walk down the street without getting abuse, even 50 years ago. So you better appreciate this freedom you've got, not fuck it all up by just basically turning it into a hate channel. So anyway, so I'm sorry if I've offended any English people. You know, it's not about offending you, it's just about a few home truths, and you've got to admit, everything I've said is truth. Okay, you might love every English person. That's fair enough, that's your choice. But generally speaking, if you are the bill payer, you can't disagree with what I'm saying. We are getting raped by our government, and all of our public services are crap. You know, it's hard to even get into a local doctor's surgery around here because it's so full of old people all the time that, no disrespect, are living on pensions which are pathetic, and by the way, by the time I get to pension age, there won't be a pension, I'm sure. And I know that they kept our country free and everything else, I don't take that away from them, but you know, my grandparents were working class and they did okay. They put and saved and looked after their family, and if my grandfather was still alive, I know that he would be able to get by on what he had saved and what he was given by the government. The problem here for us is if anybody's young in this area, which is Norfolk, and especially by the coast, not only does it have like one of the highest drug use capitals of the country right here, but it's full of old people, and all of our public service money and all of our taxes go towards looking after them, which is fair enough, but this area should get a boost from government. All this tax that they keep taking off everybody, some of it should go back into the local area to provide things like a decent council, a decent local council, or district council as they call them here, where they do look at things like parking issues, and they do look at things like places for kids to skate, and better schools and better services and a better health care, like a hospital would be great. They totally screwed our hospital up here. It was left £11 million by a local woman who died, left them all that money, and they still haven't done anything with that money. They had a site all worked out, they were going to build a new hospital, sell the old land, put houses on it. Would have been a very lucrative proposition and set us up to have our own emergency and our own little small, you know, wards for local sick people, youngsters as well as old. And no, they've almost closed the bloody thing down. The money's sitting there, God knows what's happening to it. I don't even want to think about that. They lost the site because some golf club decided it wasn't good for them to have a hospital anywhere near them. This country is crap. It really is. And if you've got any comments, don't just type them in. Do a video comment. You know, tell me what you think. Don't hide behind just text. So, I got it out of my system. Thanks for listening. And my other stuff generally isn't quite so aggressive, but I have just been pissed off, and I've been planning this, and then today waiting in a queue in a post office for a load of people on the dole and a load of foreigners that couldn't even speak fucking English, which takes 10 times as long for the lovely people that work in the post office to explain every single thing. Yeah, I've just about had my fill. So, that's me done.